All right, so we'll go ahead and call this meeting of the zoning board of the Village of Peoria Heights to order. Bear with me, I am the vice president. I don't usually run the meeting, so I'm sure Mark will keep me, make sure I'm not making any mistakes. So first on the agenda, we'll have a roll call. Matt?
Yes. Mr. Tiarina?
Present.
Mr. Wigington is here. Mr. Weiderman?
Here.
Ms. Buckler?
Here.
Mr. Cady? Here. Mr. Wu?
Here.
Mr. Callaway? Mr. Pitzel? Ms. Bax? We have a quorum.
Okay, so the first item on the agenda is the approval of our minutes from the meeting from August 17th. Everybody has had a chance to read them over. Does anyone have any questions or corrections? Anybody? We're all good? All right, so I'll take a motion to approve.
Motion approved.
Okay. Second by Steve. So motion to approve the minutes by Mike Wu, seconded by Steve Cady. Okay. And then I don't see Katie Kim here, so we'll probably move on to the second item on the agenda, which is a variance application by Gary L. Kempf as trustee of the GLK Land Trust, seeking a variance to permit construction of a front yard fence on property located at 1209 East War Memorial Drive, Peoria Heights, Illinois 61616, which property is currently zoned B2, the General Retail Business District. And we've got the information, is this packet that you guys should all have.
Ms. Buckler, one thing we should probably just vote on the minutes.
Oh, thank you. Sorry, see it. Mark,
Just do a voice vote.
Okay.
So all in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
All against? All right, that passes. Okay, so do we have some, the audience, do you want to come up to the podium and state your name and just kind of give us an overview of the variance and the issues? And we do all have this packet, so.
You have the pictures too?
Yes, there are
Okay.
pictures on it.
Yeah, my name is Dan Cunningham. We own Moxie Hair Studio at 1203 East Ward Drive. I think you said 1209. I think it's the same building. Gary owns the building. We actually own the salon. And then the other tenant, which is the vacuum down sweeper, we're all in agreement that this needs to be done. Basically, all it is on the north side of the property, there's a residential home, and we want to put a nice privacy fence up, just basically separating the commercial from the residential area on this property. It's a very close proximity, and we have a lot of girls that leave late at night with quite a bit of money on them, and there's not a whole lot of privacy from the neighborhood. I think what this will do is it's right next to that retaining wall. If you see in the picture where that blue van is. Very simple, but it's kind of a classy looking like stone look. I think it'll actually give the property more value. I don't own the property itself. We own the actual salon itself.
Okay.
But I believe it will give quite a bit of more curb appeal just off there on Ward Drive. So we just move for your approval on this so we can get it started, and it'll be started within the matter of days if you guys give us the approval.
So real quick, just so everybody knows, this is a front yard fence, since the property technically faces the side road, not War Memorial. And so the variances, all front yard fences require variance. We've had some controversial ones in the past. Anything over 4 feet requires a variance, and anything that is more than 40% open, so privacy fences in effect, require a variance. So you're really being asked 3 questions. Is it appropriate in the front yard? Is it appropriate more than 4 feet? And is it appropriate to be a privacy fence?
Okay.
There's a change in grade here that I think makes the height, that's something that should be considered. I'm fairly familiar with the property. for the reasons he described, I think a privacy fence is appropriate. It's a buffer between commercial and residential. It's not commercial in the middle of a residential neighborhood like sometimes we have and we try to avoid. This is actually on War Memorial, so it's not an inappropriate transition from commercial into residential. So I mean, in terms of the criteria, you're going to have to judge them, but I think it's at least an appropriate application.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions for, what was your name again? I'm sorry.
Dan Cunningham.
Dan Cunningham. Any,
Yep.
for Mr. Cunningham, any questions? We skipped to number 2 on the agenda.
Mark,
And we're going to go
on
back.
the number 6, when we talk about variations, one of the things specifically about fences is will the fence conform to the standards set forth in subsections 10.472C2 through D2C5? When we talked about the 40% see-through, is that where that's coming from? Because,
Yes.
okay.
Well, let me look here real quick. 2C2. Did we get input from surrounding property owners? 2C3 is compatibility of proposed fence, considering its placement, height, and construction with the surrounding neighborhood. 2C4 is whether or not the proposed fence will impair safety, welfare, light, or air, or substantially diminish or impair property values. And 2C5 is the proposed fence shall not alter the established character of the neighborhood.
Okay,
Those are specific considerations for
For
front yard
fences.
fences.
okay.
Mr. Cunningham, do the neighbors, have you talked to the neighbors that are of the property adjacent to the commercial?
The neighbors that are right next door to that White House right there, they are renters, and they are newer renters this
Okay.
time, so I'm not sure if Gary has reached out to them or not. I don't have an answer to that question, no.
Okay, what about the property owner? Do you know?
Our property owner?
The owner of whoever the rental house is?
I'm not sure if Gary has got a hold of them or not. I don't know. I don't have an answer to that, no.
They would have
They-
received.
Yeah, they should have
notice
gotten
of this, so
notification, so.
It's not, yeah.
I'm just here as a business owner in
Sure.
that building for Gary.
Okay.
Kind of pitching this idea. He couldn't be here tonight, but I still
Okay.
would have been here with him anyway, because I think this is essential to the safety of our business.
Does anyone else?
Those behind that house, I
I'm
mean,
s-
that is a privacy fence behind that house right
That's correct.
Right, yeah.
there, so. And
Does
it's for security,
anyone,
Yes, sir.
obviously.
Yes, sir.
At night.
Yep. Many times the females, we only have females that work there, and we've had several instances, not with the neighbors, but that we've had to have the police show up to either escort the women out or for other instances we've had. So I haven't had a lot of issues, but we have had issues that at late at night that the girls are worried about security there.
does anyone else have any other questions, Mr. Cunningham, on the board? Okay, so we'll open it up to public comments. Is there anybody here who wanted to come and comment on the variance for this fence? Doesn't appear to be. Okay, thank you, Mr. Cunningham.
Okay?
Anyone have any other things you'd like to discuss, or are we willing to entertain so do we have to do each variance separately?
I don't think so, because it's a fence variance,
It can kind of be,
I guess technically we probably should vote separately on exceeding 4 feet and the fact that it's a privacy fence. So yeah,
So we
we
could-
probably should do those separately.
okay, so we would need a motion for each variance.
I think so.
Okay. So does everyone understand that? So there's 3 things we're considering. So we'll start with just the fact that we're allowing a front yard fence. Does anybody want to make a motion?
Is this the same property that's getting the subway?
Nope.
No, it's different.
Block or two
Down the
farther
road,
down,
okay.
yeah.
Katie, we just skipped ahead. We will come back to you. So, nope, we didn't forget about you. We just, sorry. Sorry, I should have told you that initially.
So I move to approve the variance for the first thing is the fence itself, right?
Correct. It's in the front yard because it's, and again, these corner lots get tricky because you got two front yards in effect. So this would be the side street where it's impinging.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, go ahead and take roll.
Let's do, we should run through those standards, I think.
Findings
Each
Oh.
one first. And then
Oh, I'm
call for
sorry.
a vote. That's okay.
New to this, okay. So, yes, we're going to go through the standards for variations. So the first one, will the strict application of the terms of the zoning code relating to the use, construction, or alteration of buildings or structures, or to the use of land impose practical difficulties or a particular hardship upon the petitioner?
And I would say, because we have shoehorned our front yard fence requirements into the variance procedure, the first 5 of these really don't apply to fences. I mean, we go through them, but we can almost skip through quickly the first 5. It's number 6 that specifically deals with fences. That
Right.
With any other variance, like a setback to build a garage close to the property line, we always skip number 6, but in this one, 6 is really the only one that.
So can we just say that the other ones are not applicable and just do
think
number
they-
6?
I think they are not, because
Okay.
we set forth specific requirements in, section 7D2C 2 through 5 that I had read through. So I think that if everybody, really what we're looking for is, and I can give this to you, and I would encourage you to read through those requirements.
I've got them up. Do you want me to read through them? Or-
Yeah. So
Okay.
it would be C 2 through 5, so you skip 1 and 6.
Okay, so these are the permit standards when determining whether or not to issue a permit for a fence. Shall consider the following. The input of surrounding property owners and residents regarding compliance with standards set forth in this section. That's C2. C3 is the compatibility of the proposed fence, considering its placement, height, and construction with the surrounding neighborhood and its impact on the use and enjoyment of the neighboring properties. C4, whether or not the proposed fence will impair the safety, welfare, light, or air, or substantially diminish or impair property values within the neighborhood, or impair natural drainage or create drainage problems on adjacent properties. And 5, the proposed fence shall not alter the established character of the neighborhood. That's pretty much it.
So I think probably the appropriate procedure would just be to ask if anybody has any concerns that this fence application doesn't satisfy any of those criteria, and then we can discuss that.
Okay, so does anybody, any of those, the 4 concerns I just read, does anybody have any concerns that this fence would not satisfy those criteria?
Then I think you can vote on that variance.
Okay, so then we're going to skip the 1 through 5, considered not applicable. We're going to go for number 6 on the variance sheet. If the proposed variance involves a fence, will the fence conform with the standards set forth at subsections 10.4.7D 2C through D2.5, or I'm sorry, D2C5 of the zoning code? That's what I just read.
Correct.
Nico?
Yes.
Oh, do you want me to do that?
Oh, do you do that normally? Sorry.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Okay.
You can do it, Matt.
Okay. Nico, I say yes. Mr.
Yes.
Weiderman? Oh, yeah, I think that's the way we do it. Yes, right.
Since nobody's here to go against other property owners, I say yes.
Yes?
Yes.
All right.
So then the next one would be the height. It's a
Okay.
little taller, although, like I said, with the change in grade, I think it depends which part of the property line you, and I don't know, you probably don't even know where the property line, where the parking lot is. There's that little,
Gary has that, yeah, I think it's right above that retaining wall
yeah,
is where we're gonna dig the posts.
right.
And that is his property line.
I'd assume that's the property line, but in any
Yeah,
event.
too far, much more into that.
So that would be the next question
So-
with respect to those 5 standards, or 4 standards you read off, does.
So we're going to
the
go,
height of
we're going to go through all of that first, and then we'll just do a motion to apply all the variances?
Exactly.
Okay, got it, okay. So, so then we're going to go answer the same 4 criteria that I had read before, whether that applies for the height of the fence, because it is over 4 foot, it would be a 6-foot fence, visually a little bit taller with the height of the property. Do you guys want me to read through those again, or are you guys okay? Okay, so Matt, if you want to go and do the
Okay.
roll call for, let me read it. If the proposed variance involves a fence, will the fence conform with the standards set forth at subsections 10, 4, 7, D2, C2 through 5 of the zoning code?
Nico?
Yes.
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 Okay, and then the next one is a variance because on the code, it specifies that a fence should be more than 40% open. This is going to be a solid fence that everyone can see from the pictures. So once again, if the proposed variance involves a fence, would the fence conform with the standards set forth at subsections 10, 4, 7, D, 2, C, 2 through 5 of the zoning code?
Nico?
Yes.
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 Yes?
Yes.
Then I think just a roll call vote to approve all 3 of those variances, and I think you can do that together.
Okay, so, do Matt and Jack need to propose?
Yeah, so we had a motion to approve, but I think that was just with respect
Right.
to the front yard fence, so.
Should we clarify all
We might as
three?
well vote, we might as well vote on all of those. They satisfy, everybody is convinced that it satisfies all the criteria. So now I think.
Should he make the motion, though, to include all 3 of
Yes.
the items? Okay, do you want to
Okay.
remake that?
Yeah, I'll amend my motion that we approve the variances regarding the fence, including the being a front yard fence over 6 feet and over 40%, or not under 40% see-through. I think I will add a contingency that it just be on the property line. So as long as it's, that retaining wall is the property line or the thing above it, then as long as it falls on the property line and not on this other house's property, then it shouldn't be a problem. That's my motion.
Okay,
I'll second.
okay, we have seconded by Jack. Can you do the roll call, please?
Mr. Tiarena?
Yes.
I vote aye. Mr. Weiderman?
Aye.
Mr. Callaway?
Aye.
Ms. Buckler?
Aye.
Mr. Katie? Aye. And Mr. Wu?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay, so the motion passes. So you're all good.
Thank you.
You can get the building permit from Sarah here in Village Hall during regular hours.
Thank you.
I'm sure Sarah will reach out to Gary, let him know. Thanks.
Okay, so we're going to go back to the first item on our agenda, which was the site plan review and various variance application by PH Samuel LLC, seeking approval of a site plan with variances for a lot size, rear setback, and a front yard front fence for proposed residential development of the property located at 1324 East Samuel Avenue, Peoria Heights, Illinois, 61616, which property is currently zoned R3, multiple family residential district. So Katie, do you want to come up? And I know we kind of gave us an overview at the last meeting, and you guys should have 3 sheets of paper that, I think, is this pretty much the same that we saw before?
Yeah, it's exactly the same. I didn't really bring stuff to prepare, to present again.
Okay.
But I have all the files, so I mean, I can go through it again if we need to.
Okay, and, one second. I have that sheet that you had given us before. So we have multiple variances for this one.
And unlike with the fence, these are all sort of independent variance applications, so we need to vote separately on them.
On each one, okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm trying to find, I have the very nice addendum that you had given us previously. Okay. So the first, you want to go ahead and present, and then the first thing that the three things that we're going to be voting on are, like I said, sorry, I'm on the long one. Lot size, the rear setback, and a front yard fence. So if you could just go through all those three things, Katie.
Yep, actually, and I have to apologize. Can I grab a copy of that addendum from somebody? Sorry, I left. Okay, sorry about that. Nope, this isn't the addendum. I'll give it back to you.
On lot size, the required lot size is 5,625 square feet, and this lot is 375 square feet short.
Yep, so this is, in the parcel division that we had, a lot of the lots on there were the 30 by 125, which is what we were looking at to do for the whole entire development. Because we separated off this parcel when we bought it was, in our sense, 2.5 parcels. So the St. Jude took the original, I would say the original plat parcel of 30 by 125, which left 1.5 original plat parcels remaining. And so because we don't own the other lot on the other side, the 1.5 lots is the remaining of the parcel that got subdivided. And so since that is under the required ordinance now, we need to have a variance for that size.
So, okay, so you're requesting a variance of 375 square feet.
Yes.
Okay.
The second one was the rear setback, which is only off by 1 foot. It's arguably de minimis, but we decided to go ahead and go through this. There's not much more to say about that.
No, and when I had talked with Rick, and I think he even mentioned at the last meeting, it depends what building and so we went with the most strict according to the wording, because there's one, it qualifies, it doesn't need that, then this one, so the strictest one requires 1 foot, so he encouraged us to apply for that 1 foot, so.
So normally there's a 15-foot rear setback, and you're asking for 14 feet.
Yep.
Does anyone have any questions about that? Anybody? Okay. And then the next is for the front yard fence.
And unlike the first fence application, this one is going to meet the 4 feet, and it's going to meet the openness.
So it's just because it's in the front yard.
It's just a question of, do you want to allow the fence in the front yard?
And it's the same fence variance we got for the St. Jude home, and it's the same one we have for the condo one, so it'll look exactly the same throughout that street.
So it's going to be a 3-foot fence with a 4-foot maximum pillars, brick pillars. And is it just wrought iron in between?
It's wrought iron in between,
Okay.
yep. Yep. And I know there was a question last time about the light on top of it. We're not planning on putting a light on top of it, and that's not required, so.
Okay.
Will it adjoin the neighboring fence? So it'll be just a straight shot fence facade?
Yep. And that's why they didn't put it on yet, because we were going to build it all and then kind of connect it. So you don't have a fence going to nowhere.
Okay.
So ideally, when I would say any of the houses we have that are continuous, you would have that wrought iron fence continuous on that side.
Okay.
Yep. The neighbors did have a chain link fence that was there, and they've taken, I think they took the side one down. I'd have to double check on the front one. But.
Okay, does anyone on the board have any more questions? Okay, I think we're good. We'll open it up to public comments. Does anybody in the audience here for public comment? Doesn't look like that. Okay, we'll close public testimony. Does anyone have anything else they want to discuss regarding those three? And then we also have the site plan approval.
We do also have to,
Okay.
yeah. We went through that in quite a bit of detail at the last meeting.
Would there be a pillar between the properties Or is it just going to be a wrought iron until you reach the sidewalk, and then that's where the pillars are?
So we just have the pillars on the sidewalk to the front door, and then it would just be a fence.
Okay.
Katie, is the fence, it's going to be right kind of inside of where the sidewalk is? Is that where the fence is going to be?
Yes, the fence we're
It's-
proposing is right on the property line, which we set it back just a little bit on the detail. I know Rick was saying it was hard to see, but we kind of did the key to the right,
Okay.
or the different dashed lines, just to show you.
Yeah, it's, we've got like a minuscule little.
It's, yeah, it's
property.
real hard.
Yeah, I think that's it right there, the dash line.
We tried to put them on 11 by 17 to get them big, but.
Oh, that's okay. I can't find, I think they were larger last time, but I can't find what I did with those. Okay, so we want to go through, so we'll go through each one of these then first.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so we are going to start with the lot size. So it's a variance for request of 375 square foot off the requirement. Will the strict application of the terms of the zoning code relating to the use, construction, or alteration of buildings or structures or to the use of land impose practical difficulties or a particular hardship upon the petitioner?
Yes.
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 Okay, if the variance is granted, the property affected by the variation will remain in harmony with the general purpose and intent of the zoning code?
Yes.
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 The approval of the variation will not merely serve as a convenience to the petitioner, but is necessary to alleviate some demonstrable hardship to the petitioner.
Yes.
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 Can the variation requested by the petitioner be granted without substantial detriment to the public good?
Yes.
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 Can the proposed variation be approved without impairing the general purpose and intent of the comprehensive plan as implemented by the zoning code?
Yes.
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 And 6 doesn't
yeah.
apply, so you can just ask for a motion to approve that.
Okay, so a motion to approve the lot size variance request?
Motion.
Okay, so we've, Charlie?
I'll second the motion then.
Okay, so I had Mike first and then Charlie seconded. You want to call the roll?
Sure. Mr. Tiarena?
Aye.
I vote aye. Mr. Weiderman?
Aye.
Mr. Callaway?
Aye.
Ms. Buckler?
Aye.
Mr. Katie? Aye. Mr. Wu?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay.
Now we get to go through the same thing with the 1 foot setback in the back.
It's a lot of speaking involved in this. Okay, so the next variance is for the rear yard setback, and the petitioner is asking for a variance of 1 foot. So we'll go through the standards again. Will the strict application of the terms of the zoning code relating to the use, construction, or alteration of buildings or structures, or to the use of land impose practical difficulties or a particular hardship upon the petitioner?
Yes.
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 If the variation is granted, the property affected by the variation will remain in harmony with the general purpose and intent of the zoning code?
Yes.
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 The approval of the variation will not merely serve as a convenience to the petitioner, but is necessary to alleviate some demonstrable hardship on the petitioner?
Yes.
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 Can the variation requested by the petitioner be granted without substantial detriment to the public good?
Yes.
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 Can the proposed variation be approved without impairing the general purpose and intent of the comprehensive plan as implemented by the zoning code?
Yes.
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 Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Motion to approve?
We have a, motion to approve the rear yard setback variance of 1 foot.
I motion to approve.
Okay, Nico, second. Okay, Steve. Call roll, please.
Mr. Tiarena?
Aye.
I vote aye. Mr. Weiderman?
Aye.
Mr. Callaway?
Aye.
Ms. Buckler?
Aye.
Mr. Katie? Aye. Mr. Wu?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay. And then the final one is for the front yard fence variance request.
Which is
So we
only
just have to
item
do 6, okay.
Yep.
So if the proposed variance involves a fence, the fence will conform with the standards set forth at subsections 1047D2C 2 through 5 of the zoning code. Do you guys want me, that's the input of the surrounding property owners, compatibility of the proposed fence with the neighborhood, considering its placement, height, construction, whether or not the proposed fence will impair the safety, welfare, light, or air, or substantially diminish or impair property values within the neighborhood, or impair natural drainage or create drainage problems on adjacent properties, and the proposed fence shall not alter the established character of the neighborhood. So those are the 4 items for us to consider. Go ahead. Does anyone have any questions about those or any concerns? Okay. Do you want to call the roll on the standard, whether it applies to the standard?
Okay, the number 6?
Yes, just number 6.
Nico?
Yes.
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 Yes?
Yes.
Okay, and then a motion? Someone want to make a motion to approve?
I'll motion to approve.
Okay, Charlie?
Second it.
Okay, Mike seconds. And call the roll, Matt.
Mr. Tiarena?
Aye.
I vote aye. Mr. Weiderman?
Aye.
Mr. Callaway?
Aye.
Ms. Buckler?
Aye.
Mr. Katie? Aye. Mr. Wu?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay.
So with all the variances out of the way, it then
Oh.
becomes just a question of the site plan, which has its own criteria?
Sure, okay. Is there any questions or deliberations regarding the site plan? Does anybody have any more? I'll go read through this. I just didn't know before I start reading through it. Does anyone have any questions for Katie or anyone in the audience? Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and go through the findings. The establishment, maintenance, or operation of the special use or site plan will not be detrimental or endanger the public health, safety, morals, comforts, or general welfare. Nico?
Yes.
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 Okay, the special use or site plan will not be injurious to the uses or enjoyment of other property in the immediate vicinity for the purposes already permitted, nor substantially diminish or impair property values within the neighborhood in which it is to be located.
Yes.
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 Okay, the establishment of the special use or site plan will not impede the normal and orderly development and improvement of the surrounding property for uses permitted in the district.
Yes.
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 Okay, adequate facilities, access roads, drainage, and/or necessary facilities have been or will be provided.
Yes.
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 Adequate measures have been or will be taken to provide ingress and egress as designed to minimize traffic congestion in the public streets.
Yes.
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 Okay, and number 6 is not applicable. So number 7, the special use or site plan shall in all other respects conform to the applicable regulations of the district in which it is located, except as such regulations may, in each instance, be modified pursuant to the recommendations of the Zoning Board of Appeals.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, sorry.
Yes? Mike?
Yes.
Okay. All right, do we have a motion to approve? Okay, Steve, second?
I'll second.
Charlie, seconds. Call roll?
Mr. Tiarena?
Aye.
I vote aye. Mr.
Aye.
Weiderman?
Aye.
Mr. Callaway?
Aye.
Ms. Buckler?
Aye.
Mr. Katie? Aye. Mr. Wu?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay, we're done with that one then? Yes. Okay. So, next item on the agenda is a presentation discussion by DLD VIP for a firearms-related facility at 920 East Glen Avenue. So if you could come up, just give us your name and,
Yep, Dan Dolan with DLD VIP. I don't know if, I remember you were here when, came in here probably close to 3 years ago trying to get into the current building that we're in here in the Heights. And I guess just like how we got into there, things have grown again. And we need a bigger building. We never expected to even come close to capacity at our current facility, and here we are bursting at the seams. So there's a property pretty much across the street here that's gonna, we've put an offer in on the building pending the zoning approval for, I guess, our special use of that property. So is it a 30,000 or 25,000 square foot for that main facility? Do you remember offhand? That big one? I think it's either 25 or 30,000 square foot on that big building.
so the Peoria Flag and Decorating Building right now? This is what we're talking about?
That is correct.
So everyone should have this sheet. And just, I'm sorry, I should have probably made clear too that we're not voting on this tonight, so this is just another one where we're getting information, we're
Yep.
able to ask questions and everything, and then we'll actually vote at the next meeting.
Yeah.
So if everyone has this, there's some information on there.
So we're going about this with, security in mind. We got the large building, we're going to have a warehouse. We primarily our business, I shouldn't say primarily, it used to be primarily all we did was ship, but now things are just getting out of control. We're shipping and have a lot of retail, traffic as well. Really need an area to accommodate them. So that whole front portion of that building, you see it says office retail. That's actually only going to be retail in that whole front area. The whole back of that is going to be warehouses, and then on the kind of that left, probably if you broke those left two portions of that big building in half, that left two sides of that would be offices. We're going to have a nice fence. We would like to have a nice fence all around the perimeter, something similar to what you guys see at Williams Brothers over here on Prospect. Something tasteful yet, gets the job done for security. Every day you guys see there's, more and more gun stores getting broken into that have inadequate security plans. And with this one here, we're planning to do a full building renovation, and security is in mind while we're doing it. You can see all around the perimeter, we also have lights that are going to be shining only into the parking lot, so they will not interfere with any neighbors or anybody trying to sleep or whatever nearby. As you guys are probably familiar, the firearm sales are up like, 200% in the last 5 months. So with that, we have a lot of first-time, brand-new gun owners, and they don't know what they're doing. They need to be properly trained and educated on how to carry their firearm, how to use it, and we want to put a classroom, 2 classrooms in that front area there, that pink build. Do you guys have color or black and white? So you guys probably can't even.
I think we have black and white email.
So that building that runs parallel to Glen, we're going to put we would like to put 2 classrooms in there, and then the smaller building across the parking lot from the the medium-sized building on the picture. We want to make that a shooting range. It's my understanding that'll be the longest distance shooting range in central Illinois. We already draw a lot of traffic from Chicago, St. Louis, Champaign, Western Illinois area as well. And it's only going to add to it, people that we're bringing into the area, whether they're stopping and getting lunch on Prospect or getting gas at the Shell stations, whatever, or maybe they stay the night at one of the new hotels that we're, putting in here in town. Oh, we're going to have a security gate. So we're going to have the fence, obviously, but that gate, we would like to have a gate. So in the morning, we would unlock, we would just drive in, whatever, whether you push a button or somebody manually gets out and opens the gate up. We want to have a gate there. And then, I don't know if you guys recall that we're here for the last, for the building that we're currently in. We were unable to put up a sign that said, like guns, I think was the situation there. So that's actually been pretty good blessing to us. However, now that we've got the traction that we have without even advertising, I'm paying about $13,000 a month for security at our building to protect guns that I already have insured. And the reason that I do that is to protect the just innocent people, because all these bad guys keep breaking into gun stores, right? So we're actually paying the state police to come and stay in our building overnight. And what I'm getting at with that is oh yeah, okay, the sign. People know what we're selling in there. I'm paying for security out, the insane amounts for security. I really want to have on my sign that we're a gun store and a range. I mean, I would really appreciate being able to put that on there. So
I have a couple questions.
Yeah, go ahead, ask me.
No,
Yeah.
but I don't want to interrupt you.
No,
Okay.
I can keep rambling, so just
Okay.
stop me, please.
So there's no new, you're not constructing any new buildings? These are all existing buildings that are?
They're all existing buildings. It's gonna, when we're done with it, it's probably gonna be working with, my background's in construction, so I don't know if you're familiar with O'Shea Builders, but any project they've done is, top notch.
Okay.
So it's gonna have essentially the O'Shea look to it of any other project you've seen of theirs in the past.
So you're not really necessarily building it, but you might be doing some modifications to?
Oh, we're gonna, the front of the building where you see glass, our intent is to block that in.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we're gonna do a new facade on, it's gonna look, I don't wanna say it's gonna look like a new building, but it's definitely gonna look updated.
Okay.
That, it's just a gray block building, that one that I was talking about for the shooting range.
Right.
That's an eyesore, like we wanna, either at least, very minimum, paint that.
Right.
I think the big reason that I'm here is to put the gun store, to see if we can get approval for a gun store, and the sound for from the range was another concern that I understood.
Yeah, that's definitely, yeah.
Okay.
What do you do in terms of sound insulation or?
Yeah, so there's insulation, and honestly, it's going to be no louder to somebody outside of it than traffic driving by would be to you if you were standing outside.
Okay.
There really is no houses or...
I think there's a couple houses that would be somewhat near it, but they're not here, as far as I know.
I like the idea of this being like a destination where you can, get your classes, you can, purchase your firearm, one-stop shop.
Right.
I imagine you'll be doing not only, classes, voluntary classes, but concealed weapons classes as
Correct.
well there.
Yes.
And I like the retail space. I've been to your website.
Thank you.
I think you offer classes online.
Yes.
Right now. So I think this is a, good idea. And if it's done tastefully, because I've been to some places where these things can be done very tastefully.
Sure.
It can be kind of a destination, especially when we're having, fly fishing, down on Galena.
Right.
We have some firearms here. It could be kind of a sportsman kind of destination here in the Heights.
Sure.
So I think, like I said, if you can do it tastefully, and I like the idea of the shooting range here, if it's done, correctly, in the classroom. So, yeah, I think the only concern with, I mean, I think you can get creative with signage. I know the word guns, it may or may not work, but, you know, you can signal
Sure.
with using other words.
Sure.
Like sportsman, or, you know, like that. I mean, I know it's not as blunt,
Sure.
but I know what you're talking about.
Right.
But, you know, I get what you're asking for. So do you do, I mean, like I said, on your website, it looked like this, again, was a completely mail order. You're sending it off to, FFL dealers and stuff like that?
Yeah.
You're yourself or one?
That's
I
correct.
imagine.
Yes. Yes.
So, and then, but the retail is growing here in the area?
Yeah, so we've had to hire in just the last couple of weeks, is it two new employees, you guys? Yeah. We had to pick up 2 new employees in the last couple of weeks, just because that retail's, you know, just so
And then you'll need
crazy.
instructors and things like that, I'm
Yep.
sure, as
Yep.
well.
Yeah, we've got a company already here in the area that's established with a, you know, proven track record.
Okay.
That they're clients of ours, and we would like to just bring them on essentially as our advanced class and concealed carry class trainers.
Okay. Great.
Is that a local company or somebody from out of the area?
Yeah, I mean, Brimfield. Yeah, so, yeah, pretty local, you know.
In regards to the fence that you had talked about,
Yes.
I mean, I know the Williams Brothers property, but I cannot think what that looks like.
Kind of like a
Wrought iron fence?
Yes,
or-
yes,
okay.
exactly.
Like a 6-foot wrought iron? I'm trying to think of where it's
I
at
mean, the
on
higher, the
property.
bigger. I think right now there's either a 4 or a 6-foot fence on the existing property.
There is a chain, you mean the property you're looking at?
Exactly,
Yes,
yeah.
There is a.
But that's not tasteful.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, and I
that's
was
not-
wondering, because from the image that we have, it looks like, so the fence would be running, like, because right now it does run on that, what would be the most west side building. It runs in front of that, and then it just
Yes.
kind of stops. And on the plan that you're showing, it looks like it continues all the way, you know, through the property in front of the building. Is there any way to bring it like to the building? And so you're not running, you know, like the building that's a little bit more of the like retail section or something like that? I'm just wondering, you know, so that it won't look so much like a stockaded kind of, I don't know if you
I think-
guys can see this as well. It's easier to see on the
Well, I think,
email.
are you
It
seeing
runs-
see, you don't have colors on there. There's
I'm looking at a color one right now.
Okay, all right, all
Like
right.
on the other side of the sidewalk, potentially?
Or just like going, you know, so that it attaches to the building in the front. So it's not, if it's a security fence, it's not in front of the building. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I think so. If you wanted, could you just draw it for me?
Well, like, for example,
Or-
like where the gate is, if that just attached to the building and then it kind of came here, so there wasn't a fence in front of the building. Do you see what I'm saying?
Tracking you, so it'd be just less.
So just,
Yeah.
yeah,
Close-
just,
Closer to the building, less, not so close to the street.
well, or just,
So you're saying kind of have, where it's got that weird jaunt there at that front
butts up
right
to the
corner,
building.
have it go into the building?
yeah, here, sorry, I was.
I mean, yeah, as long as the fence would still be, you know, have integrity, I think that's the big thing we're going for here is,
Well, you had said you were getting rid of all of that glass. I mean, basically
Right.
just running it so it, you know, it's hitting the building instead of having a stockade kind of in front of it. And it's just a thought, like, so instead of it being here, it comes off the building and continues, and then, you know, there's a gate here, something like.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to that.
I don't know, that's just a thought to me, yeah, it's just a thought to maybe make it a little bit, the retail space look maybe a little bit more, you know, I mean, we want the security there, but it just, you know, instead of making it look like it's stockaded in,
sure.
I don't know, that's just a thought of one way that you could possibly treat it, particularly if you're getting rid of the glass in front of the building anyways.
Sure. Well, I know, I mean, the entrance is still going to be where Peoria Flag has it.
Sure, it's on the side.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
No, so you'd still have to go through the
Okay.
You
gate,
still have to go through your gate.
yeah,
Okay.
to get to it.
Okay, okay.
I'm just saying that that's a possibility. And then, would you be, I mean, are you going to be able to bring any plans in terms of what the facade of the building will look like or anything to the next meeting?
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I mean, you guys just tell me what you need. I have an offer in with him pending zoning approval. I guess I can just have the
He
architect
doesn't
draw
want
it
to spend any
out.
money on it.
That's what I'm
Until he knows
saying.
He's got approval.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Well, just as part of our site plan process,
Sure,
as we look
sure.
at,
There's
what it's going to
nothing
look
that-
like, what the materials are going to be, and if you have any of that information, it's going to be helpful to have at the next meeting.
Okay.
The more
There's nothing
information.
that says, it has to be a specific, green space or anything like that. This is just
Just a render.
their opinions on it.
Okay.
But, you're a business owner, you're not in the business of, making something unappealing.
Right, no, I
So-
want it to be,
So, it's,
yeah,
these are just their opinions.
sure.
I don't want you to think that you have to have,
Okay,
a certain thing.
I understand.
But
No,
if the more information we have, the
Okay.
more, likely we are to approve something if we can see what it's actually going to look like.
Sure, I understand.
Is very helpful. I understand not wanting to spend a ton of money on that.
Yeah, I'm
But-
sure he
and
can help me out.
obviously, From the vantage point from the street is, the buildings that are in the back are of less importance in terms of that, because it's not something but the street view, what that will look like, is
Okay.
something that I would feel is important. And for
Okay.
me, I would like to see if I'm voting on that.
Okay, yeah,
So any of that information that you can have at the next meeting is just always good.
yeah.
Let me see if there was.
do we have information about the fence and the height and all that stuff?
No, really, honestly, 6 foot, 8 foot, what, you guys telling me what's, as far as I'm concerned, the bigger the better, but
Has this
I
been
don't,
done before where there's like an approval, but you have to meet all these
Yeah,
standards?
so he's getting site plan approval, and then he'll come back in probably looking for a variance on the fence, I would think, but until he's got his plans finalized, I think he'd be getting too much out ahead of himself to be asking for the variance. It's different with what Katie did with the residential, where she's got those plans in place, she knows exactly what is gonna sit on that lot. He's looking more for, is this a site that's even viable before he spends money designing, getting the architect and the builder to come up with the plan, so.
Yeah,
those-
initially, it'll just be a
Those
special
kinds
use
of things, I
permit.
think, are gonna fall into place. If he wants a taller fence, he's gonna want it for security reasons, and we're gonna want him to have it for security reasons. So we're probably not gonna jam him up on any of that, so I don't know that, I think he's taking the process in the right order.
thank you.
I got a couple comments. Like I said, I do remember you from last
Yeah.
time. Congratulations. That
Thank you.
has picked up.
Thank you.
I can tell you, I am a gun owner. I had been one for almost 50 years.
Yes,
I always deal with the mom and pop.
appreciate that.
One. I have never bought a weapon in a big box store.
Thank you.
I know it comes in different things. I've been out of town. I've been to different places where I've rented one, where I'm out of town.
Sure.
I really want to fly with a weapon.
Right,
They resemble country clubs. They have a small cafe in them.
absolutely.
Almost a Starbucks while you're waiting for your range time and stuff like that. I think it's great. Your security, though, are you going to have closed circuit in the property?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, our current facility, it's insane. We've got a lot of security cameras.
But like I said, I agree with Matt. It's kind of, and not that we're a sportsman paradise, but the mom and pop ones are drying up,
Yes,
okay?
especially right now.
And especially right now, it's a very hard time for them. One of my favorite places, I ordered one, it was on a real long order, and the ordering process.
Oh, yeah.
was terrible.
It's miserable.
It was a retirement present to myself, and it took like an ungodly amount of time. And the thank you for a guy being in business was somebody ran to the store with a vehicle. So,
Yeah,
and I'm going to tell you, that has happened to that one and one in the past that I dealt with.
Sure.
In the past, until further ballards were put up. And
exactly.
more protection.
Right.
I agree with the attorney. The fence is something we can approach. I agree with the chairperson also that there might be a way we can connect that where you got your facade showing.
Sure.
And then your security fence and it's a step back. But congratulations.
Thank you.
That's a big move in business in the last 3 years.
Yeah, thank you. We're pretty
As I
proud
look
of it.
around the room, I think, Mike, you and I might be the only guy, I haven't been here that long, but I think you and I might be the only ones that remember the original application, but am I wrong, am I remembering it wrong? You kind of started out in your garage.
No, I did. You're
Yeah.
absolutely correct.
Why don't you just give just a brief history of your business? And
Yeah.
it isn't a long history. I mean, you've grown quite a bit in a relatively short amount of time, but just give us how it started and.
Yeah, I
I think it's important for people to know that this is the kind of growth within our community that I would think the zoning board would want to foster. So that's why I think your history.
Thank you.
Even though it's not directly relevant
Sure.
to a zoning approval.
Sure. No, I started this out of my garage, mostly out of frustration. I kind of caught a gun dealer taking advantage of me. Started out of my garage as a hobby, and pretty much, we're having a birthday party for it would have been my little boy, if I'm not mistaken. And my dad goes into the garage to get a beer, because that's where I used to, have beer at. And he walks out there, and I had a little over 1,000 guns in my garage. And he goes, "What in the world are you doing?" He's like, "You are putting your family in jeopardy. You got to get a commercial business." He's like, he's like, "What kind of insurance do you have?" I said, "Insurance? What's that?" So obviously made all the right calls and set up a meeting here with Mayor Phelan, Chief Sutton. And at that time, it was a guy, I think his name was Fick, does Matt Fick sound right?
Yeah.
Okay. Set up a meeting with them, and we pinpointed a couple good options for locations here. And then we found our business here, or our current building here in the Heights. But since then, I don't know if you guys see me, I'm fidgeting here with this. This is actually a pen. This is one of the brands that we sell. It's called Microtech, okay? So before we even moved into here, we were not an authorized dealer. I collected their knives, I collected their pens, whatnot. Shortly after moving in, I was like, no, I think this could be fun. The gun thing was a hobby, and it really, turned and turned and turned. I said, let's see what we can do to become authorized dealers. They wouldn't call me back. I don't know how long I went without getting a call back. I kept calling them and calling them and calling them. Finally, they're like, "All right, kid, what do you want? How much money do you got?" I'm like, literally, send me whatever you've got available, and I'll take it. And in fact, send me double that if you can. And they're like, okay. So they sent me the first order, sell all that, realize, wait a minute, they didn't even give me it at dealer pricing. So I call them, like, no, don't worry about the money. I said, just send me the difference in knives, and I'll see what I can do with it. Well, this past, about a month back, I got an invitation to the first ever Microtech, it's called Summit One. So they invited their top dealers in the world, and apparently in the last 2 years, we became the 9th largest Microtech dealer in the world, not just the US, not just the state, the entire darn globe. And that's a pretty big feat for us being, I don't know if anybody buys knives or anything on the internet, but the companies that I was in there with were, let's think here, E-Knives, Blade HQ, Knife Center. I'm trying to think. There's just all the big companies that have 1 to 300 employees. We've got 13 of us now. I started out of my garage with me and I'd have my neighbor come and help me ship boxes on Sundays. And, so here we are out of Peoria Heights, Illinois. We've got 13 of us, and we are neck and neck competition with a company that has 1 to 300 employees. There's another company out there called Sig Sauer, if you guys are, familiar with firearms. Contacted them while we were out of our garage, tried to get direct, and all they'd do is laugh at me when I was calling them, And I can't remember how it was exactly that I finally got them. Oh, at SHOT Show this past year, I walked up to him with one of my friends, and he's a pretty popular social figure, social media person, whatnot. And they finally took me seriously, signed me up as a dealer, and we're already one of their top in the nation as well. to the fact, or to the point of, with the COVID, everything's extremely limited to who people can invite to what. So SIG was doing another similar situation where it's just like this, where the summit event that I was just at. But SIG only invited their top 10 dealers in the nation. And I don't know where I was. The event was never even able to take place. But just the fact that they invited us, this little 13-employee company out of Peoria Heights, Illinois here, I felt pretty good about it. And had you guys not approved that, us to be there, we definitely would not be out of Peoria Heights, I can tell you that. So no, we're on the national market here. We don't compete with local businesses. I've never considered it competition. I think a lot of them have at some point considered us competition. But no, we're definitely putting Peoria Heights on the map. We are one of, I think, it's like 5 to 12 Class 3 dealers in the whole state of Illinois. So we can sell to, government agencies and law enforcement as well. Full automatic weapons and suppressors. Those things aren't available to the public. We don't sell those to the public. Those are only sold to licensed people who can have them. And yeah, we just, I don't know how we keep doing it. I think we just have a really awesome team in place. But yeah, literally started out of my garage as a hobby, probably, I think maybe five years ago. I can tell you this, at this point, we've expired one FFL. And I believe an FFL is good for 5 years. Is that correct? Yeah. So we've gone through one full FFL, so we've been in business for a little over 5 years, and I'd say, it's safe to say 6 years at this point, because we're about a year into our new one, actually.
Okay. All right.
So-
Thank you for sharing that with us.
Yeah.
Does anyone else have any other questions pertaining to the site plan, or obviously, we'll be seeing you next month? I'm
Yeah,
assuming, is it next month?
Wouldn't it be
Or is it two?
November? Because I think next month I come to city council. Is that correct?
No, you have to come back to us first, and then
Okay.
we vote
Come
on
to us
it.
first, and then you'll go to the city
You
council.
come back here once, one
Yes.
more time. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So I think.
couldn't remember.
Mark,
off-
do you know if I think it's next month. Would it be
It
next?
would be, yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
did Sarah get you set up with the application that you needed to complete?
I think so.
I'll
I'm
make
pretty
sure
darn
tomorrow.
sure. Okay.
She's got your
Thinking I've
contact
got it.
information.
Oh, yeah,
I think I
absolutely.
do too.
Yes.
We'll make sure you have the form to fill out, and
Okay.
if you have any questions, let us know.
Okay.
Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, guys.
And thank you very much. Is there any other business I'm not aware of? Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion. I second that motion.
All right, we're adjourned then. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Good job.